welcome to the 38th episode of the Yarn Junkie podcast. I am flying no show notes today. This is just kind of by the seat of my pants. I felt like I had a lot to show you guys, so I wanted to go ahead and sneak an episode in. So we'll just jump right in. I'm going to adjust this a little, taking you all on a ride. I have a bunch of whips. I finished one pair of socks last week, the rollers. I posted them to Instagram. If you follow me, I can be found as Yarn Junkie on most social media. On Ravelry, I am Yarn Junkie 6. On Instagram, I'm Yarn Junkie. There's a Facebook page. You can like it. Sometimes I post stuff, sometimes I don't. Most active on Instagram. There you go. Also, there's a Ravelry podcast group, the Yarn Junkie podcast. If you want to join it, awesome. If not, that's cool too. It's pretty dead because, again, I'd rather spend my time knitting than posting a ton. But I do try to post and keep things going, and there's a knit-along going on in the group. I'm co-hosting with the Penguin Coffee Clutch podcast, Michael, and I decided to do a Knit Miss in July knit-along, so you can knit anything Christmas themed, and I'll show you my whip here in a little bit. Have coffee, but it's like steaming hot still, so I won't drink it yet. This mug came from my sister. It says, "Let it be" on the inside, and I actually, kind of sad story, a little tangent right off the bat before I get to any knitting. I haven't talked to my sister since December, right after we buried my mom. We got into a fight over something stupid, but it created a distance that was already there to begin with, to be honest, before my mom passed. And my mom was sort of like the glue that held my siblings and I together, and without her here, they just haven't made the best life choices, and it's hard for me to be around them when I feel unsupported by them. I'm the middle child, but during my mom's death, I was the one who pretty much handled all of the arrangements with her husband. I'm not going to bore you guys. I haven't talked to my sister, and I miss her. And it's so hard for me to watch some of the podcasts like The Grocery Girls and Legacy Knits, because she's with her mom, and then The Grocery Girls are sisters, and the Periscoping Sisters. I miss my family. I really do. And it's hard, but I use that mug still, and I love my sister, and I hope that at some point we can have a better relationship, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now, because there's nothing more that I can personally do. That out of the way, I have a ton to show you guys. I want to start with my acquisitions, because you can kind of see one right here. So I mentioned last week that I scored a sock blank on Andy's shop update. Andre Sue Knits does these amazing sock blanks, and you guys. So I'm going to knit the Don't Touch Those Leaves, which is the Periscoping Sisters. Debbie, or maybe it was Amy, came out with that pattern. I think it's Amy now that I'm thinking about it. And I just thought that would be perfect, because it's a great summer to fall transition. And yeah, again, I'm hesitant to knit it because it's truly a work of art. But at the same time, I really can't wait to knit this one. But here's the back, which I still think is really cool. And yeah, my Monarch Butterfly blank. Thanks, Andy. And here's her awesome little tag that it came all perfectly packaged in the clear cellophane paper, but I, of course, threw that away and had to crack it open. And I wanted to show you guys that so you could see how beautiful it was. And I'll show you the rest of the acquisitions later. That was just right here, and it caught my eye, so I had to show you. One thing I've been working on pretty steady is my featherweight, and it outgrew my Miss Brown's bag I had it in, so I put it in this one. And this is from Shop Luli on Etsy, and I've had this bag for quite a while, and I've never actually used it other than to store stuff in, yarn and scraps and things. And then I was like, why do I never use this bag? It's gorgeous. It's just these these colored pencils. And it's huge on the inside, so it's a good sweater size, and it has 3 pockets. So I have my DPNs, my notions pouch, and then my scissors in the third. And it's really super sturdy. This fabric's like a thicker canvas fabric, and then the interior is a heavy-duty cotton. And then she had some really cute rope ties or pulls, and I took those out and I put the measuring tape in, because pencils and tape, I just thought that was perfect. And Atrella is the one that got me the button for Christmas, and that came from Shara. I keep transferring it to all my bags. So in here is my featherweight, and it's growing and growing and growing. So last time I had just finished the body and I was working on this sleeve. I can't remember how far down I was. I want to say it was shorter than elbow length, but now it is complete. My first sleeve is done. I knit it. I think it took me over a week, and then I set it down because I was just so sick of it, and worked on some socks for a couple of days, cast on all the socks, which I'll show you. And then I decided to go ahead and pick it up the other day, and I said, I'm gonna knit 10 inches of stockinette today. I have nothing to do but ride in the car. We went on a day trip to the city, Fort Worth, which is about an hour and 20 minutes away from us, and we went bike shopping. And we ended up staying in a hotel because it was just a late day. And that day I said I was gonna knit 10 inches of stockinette. More like 10 centimeters because I knit almost 5. So, and then I picked it up again and worked on it just a bit, but I'm probably as far along on this sleeve as I was on the other when I showed you guys last week. But I did start these on my circulars, the 9-inch circs, and I kind of like them. I've been using them a lot on socks, so I decided to give it another go on the sleeve instead of hassling with the DPNs because I just didn't want to. My husband is a freak about them. If you remember, I've stabbed myself with my DPNs, and so knitting with those in the car, he just really doesn't like it. So to save him from like having an anxiety attack on me, I went with my little circulars, and I like them. I mean, I knit all of this on them, so they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. And I have a little progress keeper from a swap that I did with Tia of the Tia's Terrific Threads podcast. And this one is from, I think Atrella got this when we went to Stitches. She picked this sea turtle up. And it reminds me of my husband and my trip to Hawaii a few years ago. We went snorkeling and saw sea turtles. And we're planning our next summer vacation currently, and so that's just got sea turtles on my brain, and I wanted to use that stitch marker. So I will say something else. I was alternating skeins on this sleeve because I didn't want it to, I felt they were a little different. I showed you guys last week. I mean, you can't really tell, but to the naked eye, one's a little bit more saturated than the other, and I can't even tell which one it is right now because there's just not great lighting right here right now. It's kind of overcast today. But I went to knit night, and I was alternating, and a person that I trust, if she's watching, hi Jasmine, was like, dude, just cut that and go on, you'll be fine. And so I did, probably around here. You can kind of see where it was puckering from me alternating, but that will block out. And I just went with one skein for the rest. And so on this sleeve, I'm just doing one. I'm not alternating at all. And if you can see, I'll hold this up to the body, which was a different skein, and it's, I mean, spot on. There's no difference. And then, I mean, the dye lots matched up of my 3 skeins, so I wasn't too worried about it, but you know, especially with hand-dyed yarn, things absorb dye differently, they sit in the pot a different way. You just never know, so it's better to be safe than sorry. And again, this yarn is Madeline Tosh, and the Twist Light Base colorway is Cactus Flower, because I haven't said that a lot, and someone asked me last week. So that's my progress on that. And then I wanted to cast something on for the Knitmas in July Cal. And I got this bag for our skiing trip to New Mexico. We went skiing at Christmas. If you guys have been watching the podcast, you will remember me talking about it and how like ridiculous it was that I got this bag. But it had a ski guy on it, so I needed it. And this is from the Lip Sinking Ladybug. She's got a little ladybug, and I put the veil on there. And this is from Knitty by Nature. If you want to go check out her Etsy shop, you can get one of these awesome buttons. What the felt. So in here, I cast on I bought yarn, souvenir yarn, like you do when you travel out of town. You go into the new wonderful yarn shops and buy the local yarn. So what I did not feel like, I was originally going to knit some Christmas socks for Knitmas in July. But I did a tiny sock, and I just wasn't feeling this colorway right now because it's summer. So I was looking through my stash trying to figure out something else to cast on or what I was going to do, because I was feeling like a horrible hostess about not talking about the knit along or even knitting along. So I needed to cast something on. And this was from my Christmas trip in New Mexico. I bought this yarn at the local yarn shop. And it is called Vortex Fractal Yarn. And it's merino, tinsel, and nylon. And I've never knit with tinsel before, but I am doing the tulle size socks. So there's a knit along for this sock currently. Sorry for the glare from my little paper, but hers are really dark, so you can't see the pattern super well. The tulle size socks, if I'm saying that wrong, somebody please correct me, but. So I cast on those, went stash diving, found some Christmas themed yarn because I bought it at Christmas time, and then had the perfect contrast that this came to me in a swap when I did the You and Me swap. So this came from my friend in Maryland, Extravagant Creations. And look at that, guys. It is spot on. And this was the Debbie Bliss. She sent a couple of balls. She sent this one and this one. So it's Deborah Norville. What did I say? Somebody Bliss. Serenity Sock Weight. And I don't know this color, but I might have the ball band somewhere. It's just a burgundy color. Anyhow, I was really excited about the spot on. So here's what I cast on and knit. And this is one of my acquisitions too, this new little stitch marker button. I love it. That's from the Fawn and the Fox Etsy shop. But I really like this stitch pattern. It looks like little diamonds. And the yarn reminds me of Harry Potter. And one of my knit night friends said that last night too, and I was like, I know. Looks, and it makes me want to watch all the movies. We'll have to have a marathon, a Harry Potter marathon while I knit the sock. But this is by the Wool Club, and it's a paid-for pattern, but I think it's gorgeous and a very addictive knit, because as soon as I cast it on, I did 2 whole repeats of the pattern before I even set it down. So that is my Knitmas in July Cal, and for that, Andy actually sent, with the sock blank, she wanted to send a prize for the Knitmas in July Cal, and I would have taken this out, but I wanted to keep it all nice and pretty for y'all, and if you had allergies, I didn't want to potentially open it and contaminate it with dog hair. So it is nicely packaged and ready to be shipped to you. Be sure you're posting in the group so you can potentially win this beautiful skein of yarn from Andre Sue Knits. Thank you so much, Andy. And it is 75-25 superwash merino, 25% nylon, 460 yards. So it would be a beautiful shawl or socks. It is so beautiful. Thanks, Andy. That was very generous of you. So I have also been working on pretty consistently. This is my work whip. So last week at work, we lost power for a while because we had some storms. Again, I'm a hostess at a restaurant, so I can just sit there and during our slow times, hide this behind the host stand and knit on a sock. So I cast this on the week before last, and I got down to, I just work weekends, so I cast it on before I went to work, worked on it down to there, showed you guys on the podcast, and I picked it up and knit a few rows at knit night, but other than that, I've knit most of the sock at work. So I'm being paid to knit. I work too, guys, yeah. So I am to where I'm going to put the heel in, and I think I'm going to do the fish lips kiss heel because I learned that yesterday. I'll show you on my other sock whip that I didn't bring over here. Oh no, I'm going to have to grab that. Anyway, so this yarn is the unofficial West 7th Wool colorway because several of us have bought it, and I took a picture at knit night last night and posted it to Instagram. If you follow me, you saw it. The other people who are knitting this, and I think it's so interesting to see because one person's knitting just a vanilla sock, another person's knitting a rib texture, and I'm knitting the Pebble Socks by Mina Phillip. It's from her Beyond Vanilla pattern collection. And you get, I think it's 4 or 5 patterns for just a simple textured, if you're kind of tired of vanilla socks. And she just does it on one side of the pattern, but I do it on the back and front. So that's where I was last time I showed you guys. So I've knit all of that in a week, as well as all of the other things. That's not bad. That's not bad, right? That's what I knit pretty much last week at work. When we ran out of power, I just sat there and knit for about an hour. Oh, and I found this in my stash. This is what I used for the Rose City Rollers heels and toes, and I think I have enough to just do the heels. And this is the Madeline Tosh Pecan Hole, and I love the brown. If you look at my Instagram, the lady who has a heel on her sock did a brown contrast, and I really like that. So I'm gonna copy her. Because we're all inspired by each other, right, guys? I need a sip. Exhausted from talking. I guess we can break it right here, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I did bring that other sock whip over, and I have mentioned, I think maybe on the last podcast, that one of my knit night friends was showing me how to do the fish lips kiss heel, and bless her patient soul, because I basically had to be babied through the entire thing. I was like, no, what? It was just beyond my mental capacity to grasp. But as soon as I did the first side and then boomeranged it and knit the other side, it was like, why did I overcomplicate this thing? It is so easy, you guys. The fish lips kiss heel. And I love it. Mina actually sent me a pair of socks that she knit herself as a gift, and they had a fish lips kiss heel. So I knew that they fit my foot really good. So I wasn't scared or worried about that. But I do have to weave in my ends. It's pulled right now because I have 2 different yarns there. But there's actually not a hole there. I did very good, not strangling my yarn, but pulling it super tight. And that is my first fish lips kiss heel, guys. My very first one. I am so proud. And this yarn was a gift to me, this striping yarn from Sonia, my friend Sonia in New Mexico. And this yarn is a New Mexico dyer, woolly Wonka fibers. And I got so many compliments on this sock last night at knit night. Everybody wanted to know who the dyer was. So thanks, Sonia, for making everyone lust after my beautiful sock. And the contrast is just yarn that I've had for ages, but it turned out pretty well, I think. And I think what I'll do is knit the rest of this blue stripe. And you see how the stripings work? Like they're different. So I'll go through more and more blue stripe and then knit all of this up here and then put in the blue cuff. That way it has an even number of the copper rows and the red rows, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm gonna put it on just because I can, and my bare foot's right here. I'm gonna shove my foot in y'all's face. You're gonna like it. Only knitters can say that, you guys. Look at it. I have huge feet. So my foot is a size 10, but I think it's actually grown a little because I was trying on shoes yesterday and it feels like they're more comfortable in 11. Guys, that's a huge foot. I'm a very tall person though, as I've mentioned, so I really like these socks. Both of them are an MCN base, so it's, very nice to knit. Merino cashmere nylon, in case you don't know what MCN means. Which is fine. I used to not. I was like, what does that mean? And then I learned, and now I know. So tomorrow, if you are local in the greater Dallas area, you should go into West 7th Wool. I probably won't be there because I have to work, but they are doing their grand opening tomorrow, and last night when I was at Knit Night, Amy gave me a little sneak peek of what she's going to be giving away to people who want to go in. She gave me a little notions, West 7th Wool. I'm so excited for her. And in the notions was, not the scissors because I put those in there, but a little safety pin with the little light bulb stitch markers. So thanks, Amy. And I also bought these last night because I needed needles. And again, you can't just buy needles and not get another pair of snips. These are the kitties. So now I have green puppies, a blue octopus, and purple kitties. Because again, I love these little scissors. And I never have a pair when I need them, legit. I'm like, I have to walk all over the house for a pair of scissors. I just need a pair for, I think maybe once I'm at like 10 pair, I'll cut it off, but I'm not there yet, so I'm good. What else do I want to show you guys? I'm telling you, I've been all over the place with my crafting this week, and I feel like I've worked on a bunch of stuff. So bear with me, guys, because I know I have no notes, and I'm probably bouncing around. So I did cast on for my I Heart Bees socks. I told you guys last week that I was dying over Nessa Townley's pattern, I Heart Bees. And this came from this Handmade Life on Instagram. She has an Instagram, and I follow her, and I'm obsessed with the things she makes. And she's currently making me another bag, and I can't wait to show you guys because you're going to lose your minds. But if this bee wasn't enough, the next one is pretty boss too. But I love this bag. It's so cute and well made, and the linen has gotten so soft since I've been using it. At first, the linen's real stiff and crunchy, but I've just barely used this, and it's already softening up, and it's just such a beautiful, well done bag. And I have to do my little nod to Jenny because this is in here, my little notions pouch from my swap with Jenny of the Handmaiden Woolen podcast, and everyone is talking about it, so I will too. How cool is it that Eric from Sticks Plus Twine and Devin from Handmaiden Woolen are getting together and doing a men's knitting magazine? I know I'm super excited about that because I love to knit for my husband, but I don't always find things that he appreciates or that I would want to knit. So I'm excited to see what they're going to come up with. I'm definitely going to subscribe to their magazine, and I'm excited for them. But yeah, and so, hi guys, I love y'all's new home and seeing all y'all's new makes and things, and I'm glad Colin's settling in well. So I cast on for my socks. I got the cuff done. Not even really done because she says 2 inches. Oh, for this twisted rib cuff, you guys, 2 inches. And I'm getting pretty darn bad ladders using these DPNs, which I never had a problem with before, which I don't really mind in the ribbing. I don't think it's a big deal. And with the overall honeycomb stitch pattern, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. We'll see. But I'm thinking about ending the ribbing there and not going another 1/2 inch, I think is what. Do I have a tape measure? I'm looking through all these bags. So this is a little pouch that I've had forever. It was a change wallet. Change wallet? Change purse? Wallet for change? And I repurposed it as a notions pouch. And I love it. I really do. I want to make some of these and give them away as swaps and things, but you know, I'm not a sewist, and then a zipper intimidates the crap out of me, so probably not. It's just wishful thinking on my part. Yeah, I'm at 2 inches. All that to say, I have 2 inches of rib. Not a lot to show you guys. This yarn is Sweet Georgia Fibers, Sweet Georgia yarn, in their Tough Sock base in colorway creme brulee. And I've had it in my stash for 2 or 3 years maybe, and I haven't had anything to knit with it. I did make a little, I had 2 skeins, and I made this. I really like it. And now I'm knitting socks with the other one. So it will move along slowly. The knit along is for 6 weeks. Nessa's doing a I Heart Bees knit along, so go to her group, the Kilt-A-Craft podcast, to check out the ins and outs of that if you want to knit along. I'm knitting along in spirit, so I probably won't try to like vie for a prize or any of that stuff, but in theory, in spirit, I'm knitting along. I've cast on my socks. They're there. Something else I have been feeling left out about, and I had to cast on because I can't stand, I'm like Sue from Legacy Knits. You know how she's like, she says that it's a baby of the family thing, but I'm the middle child and I feel this way. I can't stand to feel left out of something. If everyone that I know or follow or a big group of people that I like are doing something, I want to do that something too. And I can't stop thinking about it until I do it. And what I'm talking about is the Shawl Society. So the Curious Handmade podcast, Helen Stewart, has come out with a collection of shawls that she'll release over 6 months. And the pattern priceage is really good. I think you get like a total of 6 patterns for $20. Maybe it's doing 19 something. I don't know. It's a conversion rate, so don't quote me on the exact price. But 6 shawl patterns for $20 released. You get the whole shawl, one a month, and it just shows up into your library. I'm not explaining this well. Go read about it. The Shawl Society. But yeah, the first one is the Talisman shawl. And again, you've seen this on Instagram. I know you have, because you're following somebody that's knit this. And it has these little like cluster star stitches. And I just really enjoyed the description that she wrote out. You should go read it. I don't have to read it to you. I don't want to bore half of you. And I put that, it's a Talisman shawl. And I put it in my new Constellation bag from the Fawn and the Fox shop. I got this bag. She was worried about the Canada Post going on strike, and they actually haven't. So the bag came in good timing. And I put my little zipper pull from Candace on there, because they're like real life besties. So they have to be together in my house. And her bag up there has a Candace zipper pull on it too. So I cast on for my Talisman shawl. This yarn was a gift to me from, give me a second, Jilly of the Knitting Broomstick podcast. She's Vegan Jilly on Ravelry and Instagram. But I had been missing her podcast and looking at this yarn in the stash that she gave me a couple of months ago, and I was just like, I should cast on the Talisman shawl in that. I bet it will look great. And it's this turquoise, brown, black, variegated from Supernatural Yarns. And I'd never used them before. Supernatural Yarns, and it's colorway Under My Spell. And the base is Banshee Soft, which is 75/20, and then it has 5% stellina, which you can't really see. It's like a gold stellina, and it's almost spun in with the yarn, so it's just this light, very almost not even there shimmer. Like I can barely see it on the swatch or this little portion that I've knit so far, even to my naked eye. So there's no way you're gonna see it on the screen, but I really like the way it's knitting up. I can just imagine wearing this with a black tank top like the one I'm wearing, and shorts and boots, my boots. And this one also came from Tia. It's a Tia Stitch Marker Day. The little tree, I really like that tree. I have such a huge love and appreciation for trees now because of Jenny. I always kind of did. I was obsessed with trees, but now I think about them a lot more and think about the species they are and how well they grow and what kind of care they require, and just, I think about trees, Jenny. I think about them. So another interesting thing I want to say, this is a paid pattern, so I'm not going to give too much away, but something she has you do that I'm going to do on shawls going forward. She has you cast on and knit the first so many rows with a smaller size needle. She says so it's a smoother transition, and I really feel like that's just really awesome. And so I was knitting this on my carbons. I don't really like those picking up these stitches. They're just, chalgoos are a lot sharper than carbons. The tips are pointier. So I picked these up yesterday while I was at knit night. It's a size 5 in the chalgoo with a 40-inch cord because I'm knitting a shawl. So, and you can see, I mean, without me even taking them out of the package, how much pointier they are than the carbons. But that's all I have to say about that. I haven't done a lot on it, but I had to cast it on, even though my Mother's Day shawl has been hibernating and I haven't touched it at all. That kind of makes me feel bad, but at the same time it doesn't, because it's bead knitting and it's just a lot more time consuming than I want to knit right now. And it will get done eventually. So I'll go ahead and show you this whip. I started this a couple of weeks ago and then didn't like the needles I was using. So I ripped it out and bought different needles. And I have this in my awesome Granny project bag. And I've blinged it out with my buttons, my Heisenberg. And this one came from the, what is that called? Mythbusters exhibit when it was at one of the museums near us. So I cast back on for my Sacco Stripes tank top that I'm knitting out of Quinton Co. linen yarn. So I originally cast this on to knit the Summer Lovin' Cal with the Cat's Kettle and Brooklyn Knit Folk podcast knit along. But it was a very short cal, and I'm a very slow knitter that likes to work on too many things. So that cal has since ended, but I'm still knitting along in spirit and making a summer garment. So I am to the point where you put in your first stripe, and on the pattern, they did the light base with the dark contrasting, and I'm doing the opposite. So this will be my stripe color, and I've just got to ball this up and start adding and knitting. And I'm to the part right now where it's basically just easy straight knitting, knit, purl, knit, purl. You're knitting a flat piece, then you do your shaping at the top, and then you knit the back piece the same, and then you seam them together. So I am enjoying this knit. It's a very good pull knit because it's lightweight. I don't mind it draping on me. It doesn't make my hands sweaty at all. The needles I'm enjoying, they are a little blunt, but for this linen yarn, I kind of like that because it's super splitty. I mean, you can see this is where I cast on, and it was just sort of untwisting as I was twisting to cast it on. And I'm knitting this on a 2.5 or a 3 millimeter, and I think the pattern asked for one size up, and it was just too gappy for me, and that's still pretty sheer, but it's much denser than it was. So I'm super happy with this, and I think that I will wear it to death once I'm done with it. And I can't believe how many fingering weight things I'm knitting, but I just love all the fingering weight things, and I keep queuing up more. So more sweaters, more garments, all fingering weight. I'm just insane and a glutton for punishment and taking months to knit. Melissa from Knitty by Nature commented on my Instagram on my featherweight that would take her months because she's such a slow knitter. Melissa, I've been working on the featherweight since April. Granted, I finished many things in that time, and I probably could have finished the sweater had I been a monogamous knitter, but months it has taken me. April, May, June, we are in the middle of July. I will not be done with it until the end of July at least. So, slow knitter, and things take time, but it's going to be worth it to have after it's done, is what I keep telling myself. So I'm going to stop it right here for a second. I'll be right back. I gotta take another drink break. So, on to my acquisitions, or the rest of my acquisitions. I have been wanting to knit I wish I'd have printed the pattern. Cobain, that's what it's called. I've been wanting to knit the Cobain since the Knit Along for It, which was a couple months ago. The pattern is by Risen Knits, and she's a very good friend of mine, a lady that I absolutely adore. And Cat's Kettle, Katrina of the Cat's Kettle podcast and yarn, knit the Cobain using Knit Picks cotton. So I went on to Knit Picks and I priced it out, and it was going to be less than $20, which is what she said, to knit this pattern, which is just a really cool tunic style summer shirt that you could probably wear over a long sleeve in the winter and make it a winter thing. So I'd been wanting to knit it, and then just putting off ordering the yarn because I had so many other whips. But then Knit Picks brought Felici back, so I was going to buy some Felici anyway. Decided to go ahead and put in the order for my Cobain. So I think I'm dying to cast it on, but I know I have a lot of whips. Maybe once I get done with a couple of pairs of socks, I'll cast this on. And I picked black. This colorway I think is Lichen. Lichen, is that how you say it? It's the green. Lichen. And then this isn't the gray that I wanted, but the gray that I wanted seemed like it was never going to be back in stock. So I settled. And I'm okay with the fact that I settled. It's called Whisker. And I'm pretty sure this is just called black. It is black. So I was going to do the top black and then start striping with this gray and green and do a black stripe in between like Kat did on hers. So what else did I order? Felici, you guys. I needed it in my life. I got the rainbow dark side. So I think you guys remember the socks that I knit from Mustache. They're up there. You can barely see them. And I was sad because they didn't fit me. But I really enjoyed knitting the yarn. And this reminded me of that. So I had to get those. I'll probably knit Prudence a pair of socks with that colorway. This one, I'm dying to cast on for myself. Sunset. Again, I take a lot of pictures of the sunrise and sunset, and those colors just sing to my soul. So I needed these, and then these. I didn't even need to think about it. I had to have these for Trella, and then once she saw them come, she was like, I love that yarn. I was like, I know, I'm knitting you something with it. She was like, are you serious? So she's pretty excited about Lost Lakes. And I live on the lake, so I mean, really, I needed this. I love this. I am dying to cast this on, but again, with I think 5 or 6 socks, enough's enough. Enough's enough, and I will not allow myself to cast that on until at least 4 or 5 of the socks are off the needles. I say that, we'll see how long my resolve lasts. And another, I just always check out their sale yarn just in case there's something I can't live without. And often I need to get my shipping up anyway, or my price up, so I can get free shipping. How much sense does that make? All the sense in the world to me. I would rather buy more product and get free shipping than pay for shipping, right? So I went to their sale page and was just scrolling around, and they had this Knit Picks tweed on sale. This colorway in particular was deeply discounted. So I think it was $2 something a ball. I got enough to knit me a pullover, and it was 17. It totaled up to like 17 something. I mean, that's not with tax or whatever, but yeah, $2 a ball, you guys. Or $2.97 a ball or something like that. It was super happy and cheap. I'm gonna knit the Flax Light. Isn't that gonna be a gorgeous fall pullover? I can just imagine wearing that with jeans and boots. And even though it's fingering weight, and I know I'm gonna cuss myself when I'm knitting this and how long it takes, I just love those tweedy flecks. And it was less than $20. I felt like it was a no-brainer. So another thing that I got that I've been wanting for a while that seems like a ridiculous purchase, but it's not, is a binder. I got a binder so I can start putting all my patterns in here because they are just crammed into this drawer right here, and it's stressing me out. Every time I open it, there's like a mound of patterns. So I need to punch holes in them and put them in this gorgeous binder that I got at Walmart for a couple dollars. I mean, I don't really know how much exactly it was. It was not very expensive. And I did get a new podcasting notebook, Create Your Tomorrow, that matches my binder, because why not? And also my other one is almost full. It's over there, but it is almost full. And one more thing that I got was Love of Knitting magazine. And I promised myself I would not buy magazines unless there were at least 3 things that I wanted to knit in them. And this one has quite a few things that I was super excited about potentially knitting. I'm going to show you a few of them. Okay, so the first is this pullover, and it's knit out of Brooklyn tweed yarn, which I love. Look at those leaves. I've got to knit this. Brooklyn tweed shelter is what it's knit out of. And then this hat, I've got to knit that. I really love that seed stitch and that leaves. I just love leaves. I really want to knit that. And I have the yarn for it. It's up there. I already know what I'm going to use. And I might cast that on. Just throw caution to the wind. To hell with the 10 projects that I have currently going. We need to cast on another project. This cowl. Oh, how is the best way to show you this? Because it's got, okay. Sorry, the chart is right there, so. It's a Day of the Dead cowl. Look at that gorgeousness. And this garter cable pillows. Cushion covers. Love those. Really love those. And I can imagine doing it. And it says skinny cotton. But I was thinking it would look really good in a bulky yarn. Like a bulky hand spun even. But those are the patterns. How many was that I showed you guys? 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's another one in here that I want to knit that I won't bother finding. But that was enough for me to justify the $6 purchase, $7 purchase of this magazine. There was, a cowl, a sweater, a pillow cover, a hat that I wanted to knit. I need the magazine. And that's it, guys. That is all I have to show you. I think I'm pretty good. I've been casting on like crazy and working my little heart out on knitting all of the things. I think I said I got a bike this week. Maybe I didn't. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that. It's very exciting for me because I've been wanting a bike for a couple months. Actually, like over a year now, I think I've been wanting a bike. So yeah, I'm excited to get my kids out on their bikes and make them ride them more now that I have one. My husband's got his coming. He's shipped it, and that's what's going on with us. My little one went to the doctor. She had like a freak thing with her neck. She had it bent over like this, and she woke up crying. My husband's like, anxiety goes up immediately. Take her to the ER. She's got meningitis. Well, she doesn't have a fever, so it's probably not an emergency, but I'll call her doctor in the morning, honey, I promise. I call her doctor in the morning, and he had me bring her in, of course, and they, looked her over, and he told me that it was really common in 5 to 6 year olds for them to tear a little fiber in their neck, especially when they're laying around watching TV during the summer or doing a lot of swimming, which is what she pretty much does all day, is swim and watch TV. So she had a little tear in her neck, but now she's fine. I think it lasted maybe 2 days, and then she was like, my neck's brand new again. So we've been not really up to a lot. It's only been a week, so we were going to go to a water park last week, and then she had that freak neck thing, so we didn't get a chance to do it. She was kind of bummed about that, but we'll do it again this week. And here comes Roger. Let me see if I can get him on to say bye with me. I'm not going to do a real bye though. This is just a be right back bye because Etrella has been creating a ton as well, and she is going to do her little segment next. I just looked over there because that's where I set up on the couch, and she's already got several of her things she's made sat on the coffee table. So I hope you guys look forward to those little segments. If you want to stick around, if you don't, no hard feelings on that. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting me, and the comments for Etrella, I read her all of those. She just smiled from ear to ear. Prudence really enjoyed doing it too, so it's something that I think I'll keep up. And I love that you guys enjoy it. So stay tuned for that. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Etrella. I am 10 years old and in the 5th grade. Oh, no, going to be in the 5th grade. And, doing a podcast with my mom. And I've been crafting a few things lately, and I would like to show them to you. The first thing I will show you is the doll pool I made. Ta-da! Now, I didn't have any clear plastic at the time, so I couldn't make it like actual water or any deeper because I didn't have enough cardboard. But I did have enough cardboard to make a couch, and here are little pillows, and it's trimmed with ribbon. Also enough cardboard to make this table over here, and a little fruit, what are those things called? Veggie plate with little cherry tomatoes, celery, carrots, and even little water bottles right there. And also a little plant. And that's about it of this. Moving on to ice cream. Now, this ice cream is like for an 18-inch doll. Not really sure how you would make it for a Barbie doll. Maybe like use a little bottle cap or whatever. But I use the bottom and top of the bottle. And little cotton balls, a little skinny stick. And there's one ice cream. Oh, look, this is my favorite part. It's got a heart-shaped cherry. Can't really see it, but it's there. I actually made 2 ice creams. One in a bowl with a lot of toppings. And then a little ice cream cone. And that is just adorable. So like one for my doll and then one for my sister's doll. Makes sense. Next, I've got this wonderful coloring book that my mom got me for working so hard on swimming lessons and chores. The other thing she got me for working hard were this pack of glue sticks, lots and lots of glue. And two, not one, but two glitter packets. See, there's one that's more like powdered glitter and it's in neon colors, and then one which is just really regular glitter, got rainbow and blue and green and yellow or gold, red and silver. Now, I meant to show you on the last podcast I did, but I didn't because I completely forgot about it. This is a little crafting book we got at the library called Crafty Creatures, and it's got like a bunch of little creatures. We got these, which is stuff made out of gloves. We've got little birds. Those are adorable. And a bunch of other stuff in here.
And it's all like hand sewed or knit, and they have templates for everything. It's a really awesome book.
Bugs!
Those look like they'd be good little pen cushions.
And there was one I saw, and it was so cute. I can't find it now. Birds, bunnies, more bunnies, 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 elephants, bunnies. Got a lot of cool stuff. Love this book. And that's all the stuff I made. Go lay down.
What about the tutorials that you would recommend? We had a viewer message me a not knitting related question, and she asked me, she said her son was getting into sewing and he made a pillow, but she felt that there was only so many pillows he needed, and asked if there was anything I recommended that he could look into. And something that Trella really enjoys
is My Froggy Stuff,
which is a YouTube channel.
Yes, full of stuff like dog clothes, pillows, other stuff. Mostly doll clothes, since her whole thing is based off of dolls.
So it might not be geared towards boys necessarily, but I think that these crafty creatures are definitely able to fit all genders and genres. Anything you would be interested in making. I would also recommend
Stuff.
I can't remember what I was going to say. Can't remember. Just
Lost your train of thought.
completely. And this yarn is giving me fits. I'm trying to wind my linen yarn right now. It's not winding. It's a knotted mess.
It's like cobwebs over there.
Yeah.
Brownish gray cobwebs.
So that's all the things you made?
Yep.
But I mean, these things took her such a long time. She glued it all down. So
Yeah, I glued everything down. Except
I mean,
for the pillows.
the amount of details, except for the pillows that just flew. Look at that fruit veggie tray. It looks good enough to eat to me, guys. Right?
They're just pony beads and craft foam, really.
So again, thank you so much for being interested to see what she's working on. She really enjoys sharing with you guys, and I enjoy having her on the podcast. And here's Roger.
And we're gonna make so many more. It's gonna be so fun.
Here's Roger. He's my buddy. He's my buddy.
You know, My Froggy Stuff actually has a dog, Caspian, and he's always on videos.
Oh yeah, Caspian?
Yeah.
Caspian's a co-host.
Go away,
Go,
Roger.
Lucy. You're too big. Sit down. Sit down. We'll say hi to Lucy. Okay, high five, Lucy. Okay, high fives. You're too close to the... Okay. She put her paw up. I don't know if you could see. Her huge paw. And Lucy's so big. She's our mastiff.
And Bo likes to tear up balls.
She is very camera shy. I can never get a good picture of her. Looby Loo.
Look at the camera. What's that over there?
Thanks so much, guys, for joining me and her, Trella. Prudence did not want to come on the podcast today. She said
was
she
too
has,
busy watching it.
She has
movie.
nothing that she's made. So we are gonna dye tie-dye shirts next week though. So she'll come on and show those. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. Again, if you're in the Fort Worth area, stop into West 7th Wall tomorrow. They're having a grand opening from 10 to 6. And if I can, I might try to swing in, but I doubt it. I'm gonna be at work. And unless we're just incredibly dead, I'll be there. I'll be there. And we're pretty busy on Saturdays, so.
You can have
That's
that.
wishful thinking on my part that we'll be dead.
See,
And look at her,
this
she's
pillow.
laying her head on the table. Guys, look at this. Lazy Lucy.
No, she doesn't like
Lazy
me.
Lucy.
Here, have a pillow. Ow, my feet. Ow, my feet.
Bye guys. Thanks.